And we are back with another segment of JusParlay's Plays, where I'm going to be providing you all with my NBA plays for that particular day. And I usually break down my plays in three different categories: my definites, my shoulds, and my coulds. My definites are the bets that I'm really confident in happening. My shoulds are bets that I'm confident in happening, but like I said, I think it should happen, but I'm not necessarily completely certain it'll happen. And my coulds are bets that, more risky than anything. I could see this team upsetting that team, but it's more of a risk than anything. So I'll start off with my most confident bets, my definites. My definites for November 8th is going to come from that Dallas Mavericks versus New Orleans Pelicans game today. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are playing at home, and they're currently 6-3. And as you should know if you follow basketball, the New Orleans Pelicans are tied for the worst record in the league at 1-9. Currently, Brandon Ingram, their best player as of right now, because Zion is on the show. He's questionable for the game, but I got this thing happening whether Brandon Ingram plays or not. Mainly because obviously Dallas is the better team, and they are the team that has one of the best players in the game in Luka Doncic, Luka Magic, the baby GOAT. He's been on the tear lately. He's been cooking. His three-point ball is falling. I saw something in that Boston Celtics game last time out against the Mavericks. Luka, he's on. He's on. So the thing about it is I typically bet money line. Money line means straight up that the team will win. You wouldn't make that much money if you bet money line on the Dallas Mavericks because it's about like a minus 390. So you got to bet $390 to get $100 back. In order to cut that price down, I would combine that with the Dallas Mavericks winning. I would combine that with Luka Doncic making 3 or more threes. He's made 3 or more threes, I believe, in the last 3 or last 4 games that he's played. And like I said, he looked like he's on, and he's taking about 11 threes a night. So I would think that's a pretty safe bet for about a plus 106. So that's my definite bet for the day. That's my only definite. Now, if I want to get to my shoulds, I'm going to start off with the Phoenix Suns versus the Sacramento Kings. Now, this is more of me betting against the Kings' reliability because the Kings, although they are 5-5, they have some talent. They got De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes could play, but at the end of the day, the Kings are a very unreliable team. As you could see, they beat the Charlotte Hornets 140-110, and then lost to the struggling Indiana Pacers the next time out. So, which was last night. So I don't see how they can overcome the Phoenix Suns, even though the Phoenix Suns are missing DeAndre Ayton due to a leg injury, and they are having issues with ownership right now. I think the Phoenix Suns continue their 4-game winning streak versus the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings last year got the first win of the season against the Phoenix Suns and then proceeded to lose the season series. I think the same thing happened again this year. The Phoenix Suns did lose to the Sacramento Kings earlier this season in a 107-110 outing. I don't think that happens again. I think the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker had a 38-point showing last time out. I think he definitely puts on again. People might think that I think the spread is a little bit low. The spread is a little bit low, and they are doing you kind of a justice because I think the Phoenix Suns are the way better team even without DeAndre Ayton. I think that they're kind of, betting against the Suns mainly because DeAndre Ayton is out, but I wouldn't put too much confidence in the Sacramento Kings. That's why I'm wondering why the sportsbooks did. The sportsbooks did, and the odds makers did, but I'm not one of them. Hey, we'll see who's right. I think the Phoenix Suns come out on top. CP3 does his thing. D-Book, if you want. What I did personally, I did a player performance double. That's like I said, that's when you have 2 events from the same game happen at the same time. I got the Phoenix Suns winning, along with Devin Booker going for 25 points or more. And I feel like I'm being conservative because I think Devin Booker goes for at least 30 tonight. But I did 25 because, you always want to be more safe than sorry. So now that's one of my shoulds. Like I said, these are my second level of confidence in terms of bets. My next should is the Brooklyn Nets upsetting the Chicago Bulls on the road. Now, the Chicago Bulls, they have looked pretty nice coming out the gate early in this season. However, so have the Brooklyn Nets. Although the Brooklyn Nets struggled early on, They are sporting a 7-3 record. And the Chicago Bulls are sporting a 6-3 record. Even though the Chicago Bulls are getting more hype, and the Brooklyn Nets, they had their issues early on, especially not having Kyrie Irving in the lineup and James Harden being more passive than anything. People say like, oh, he's just struggling because of the rule change. I think it's more of just him being passive than anything. Yeah, he has been accustomed to playing a certain way in terms of drawing fouls, but James Harden is too good not to turn the corner, and he's had a double-double in his last 3 games, 2 triple-doubles. I think that James Harden has a double-double tonight. That's why I'm going to combine the Brooklyn Nets straight up winning. Money line, combine that with James Harden getting a double-double for the night, just to, up the odds and potentially make more profit. I think James Harden getting a double-double is a pretty safe bet because he can do it with assists like he has 2 of the last three games, or he can do it with rebounds like he did last game. He had 10 rebounds and 8 assists. So like I said, it's just too many ways James Harden can do it for you. For me not to take that particular bet, especially if they do win. Also, the Brooklyn Nets and Nikola Vucevic has some history. I think they played about six times last season between Nikola Vucevic playing for the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic. Vuce did do his thing in those games, but more often than not, his team got cooked. And don't get me wrong, I think the Chicago Bulls are a better team than they were last year. With their new additions, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan killing right now. They are on a 2-game losing streak, losing back-to-back to Philly. I think they go on their first official losing streak of 3 after tonight. And the Brooklyn Nets extend their winning streak from 5 to 6. So one thing about gambling or betting, I always say ride the hot hand. The Brooklyn Nets are the hot hand, and they are the better team at the end of the day. Now, my last should, I have one more should for this. I have one more should bet. My last should is I have the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Charlotte Hornets did just play last night. They played the Los Angeles Clippers on a night of underdogs. That was one of the few underdogs that did not win. Surprisingly, all the underdogs was hitting yesterday. They were surprisingly up in the fourth quarter, but they allowed a 22-point run. I think it was 22-0, something like that, run against the Los Angeles Clippers, and ultimately the Los Angeles Clippers ended up winning that game. Now they have their second game in Los Angeles today. Second game in 2 nights. I think they will come out a little bit sluggish because it is 2 games in 2 nights. They are playing it back-to-back. The Los Angeles Lakers have been struggling. They are missing LeBron James. But at the end of the day, as much as people want to complain, people want to come at them, the team does have Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook is a beast. Man just averaged another triple-double last year. And I also think he gets a triple-double tonight. I actually combined the Los Angeles Lakers winning straight up with Russell Westbrook getting a triple-double. I think he gets a triple-double tonight, especially after that 1-for-13 performance last game. He got to put on the Charlotte Hornets. They're not much of a defensive team. So him getting the points, rebounds, and assists necessary shouldn't be all that hard. Anthony Davis is listed as probable with a thumb injury, but Anthony Davis has been probable literally every game for the last 2 seasons. And he's played in, except last year where he was actually, last year doesn't count because he had that was it a calf or it was an Achilles injury. But the year prior he was listed as probable the entire season. I think he only missed about 5 games. So I'm going with that. I think AD definitely plays and the team beats the Charlotte Hornets. I don't think the Charlotte Hornets have enough to stop AD, to stop that, to stop a 3-point barrage, even though the Los Angeles Lakers have been struggling from behind the 3-point line. I think they cooked the Hornets tonight because the Hornets aren't a good defensive team necessarily, especially out on the perimeter. And like I said, Melo might light them up. LaMelo might light the Los Angeles Lakers up, but I think Melo might like Carmelo Anthony might light the Charlotte Hornets up. Russell Westbrook goes for a triple-double. AD does his thing. I think AD gets a double-double, even though I didn't bet on that as well. But I think the Los Angeles Lakers do enough to send the Charlotte Hornets home, packing 2 losses straight in Los Angeles in 2 nights. So those are my definites. Like I said, my definite was the Mavs beating the Dallas Mavericks beating the New Orleans Pelicans, the worst team in the league right now. my shoulds, my second level of confidence, is the Phoenix Suns beating the Sacramento Kings. Also, Devin Booker scoring 25 or more. The Brooklyn Nets beating the Chicago Bulls. Also, James Harden getting the double-double. And the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Charlotte Hornets. Also, Russell Westbrook scoring a triple-double. Well, getting a triple-double. Now, my last bet is the Cuds. The Cuds are more like my dark horses. Like I think it'll happen, but I can see it not happening because of the matchup. So I think the Denver Nuggets could upset the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have been cooking. Kyle Lowry is looking like a huge ad, especially early in the season. The Miami Heat finally have a true point guard. But they are going into the MVP Nikola Jokic's hometown right now. Well, not his hometown, but like his home court. They are playing in Denver, where the Denver Nuggets are 3-1. The Miami Heat, they are 3-1 on the road. But I'm going to go with the home court advantage here. Nikola Jokic has a huge night. Typically, he does show up in big games against big teams. The Denver Nuggets will be at a disadvantage, especially when it gets to their bench. And, Tyler Hero, he's averaging over 20 right now, looking like the lead candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. That'll definitely be tough. But I think Nikola Jokic is going to be too much for the Miami Heat to handle, especially with just random support from guys like Jeff Green and Campazzo, and MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. might have a big night as well. But I got the Denver Nuggets winning, and I also did a player performance double there where I have Nikola Jokic getting a double-double. So it could be points, rebounds, it could be points, assists. Could be rebounds, assists, but I got those two things happening. The Nikola Jokic double-double and Denver Nuggets straight up beating the Miami Heat. So that's your picks for Monday, November 8th. JusParlay's plays.